Welcome back to another video. So today I'm at the train station and I'm getting a train to Bristol to do a day of printmaking outside. So last week, printmaker and painter Lisa Takahashi reached out to me and said, do you want to come join Jackson's Art, which is an art shop that she works for in the UK. She said they're doing a plein air printing, painting, sketching, whatever you want to do day at Bristol Harbourside, and like it would be really fun if you could join. And obviously I did Sky Arts Landscape Artist of the Year, well, I aired this year but I did it last year, and my heat was at Bristol Harbourside. So she said, yeah, it'd be fun if you could come down. And I met Lisa in 2017, I think, when I did a year of relief printmaking at Spike Island Print Studio in Bristol. So I got a scholarship to do that course, and it was every Wednesday evening, and we learned wood engraving, lino printing and woodcut. And Lisa was one of the tutors, so that's how I met her. And then a couple of years later, she was on Sky Arts Landscape Artist of the Year, and she also got to the semi-finals. And I haven't seen her in years, so it'd be really nice to catch up. So Jackson's Art are doing these plein air days in different locations. I think it's the first Friday of every month. So I haven't been to one before. I think there's going to be like around 100 artists, which should be really fun. Quite daunting though. I was a bit anxious about it, and I had about 3 hours sleep last night because of it. So I'm slightly worried about the quality of work I'm going to be able to make today. So I did think about doing some sketching because I've really been enjoying sketching recently, but I'm actually more confident in my printmaking. So I've got a woodblock and my tools and hoping to do a reduction print today. So we'll see how it goes. As I said, I feel so tired. I feel like the kind of tired where you're like a bit wobbly, like you couldn't walk in a straight line if you tried, tired. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a sunny day, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to Bristol Harbourside and being there without the pressure of a TV crew and seeing what print I make. I'm in Bristol now, and I stopped quickly for a coffee and a pastry because I don't normally drink caffeinated coffee, but this is my second one today. You can probably tell from my hand shaking. I've got only got one kidney because I had kidney disease, so coffee doesn't sit that well with me, but I need the caffeine today. But yeah, I'm just walking to the Harbourside now. I'm in Queen's Square. It's such a familiar route because I came here quite a lot before Landscape Artist of the Year to try and like get used to the place and like see what there would be to engrave. The bit I visited was the bit by M Shed, which is where I'm heading to now, but it's not where we ended up being for the actual Landscape Artist of the Year heat. But yeah, it just feels really familiar. It reminds me of, it's almost exactly a year ago where I just was so nervous and just didn't know what to expect from the TV show. Right, I'm afraid the rest of this video is going to be a voiceover because I did do quite a lot of filming, but I didn't do any talking to camera because I find it so awkward talking to camera around other people. So yeah, I'll talk you through the day. So I got to M Shed and there were around about 30 to 40 people there. There weren't quite as many as I thought there were going to be, but still like a lot of artists turned up. And I met Jenny Stewart, who I've been friends on Instagram with since 2018, I think. And she creates big abstract paintings, but on this day she bought a sketchbook and some like mixed media pens, pastels, and we went and we found a bench. So I thought I was going to be creating art, probably kneeling on the floor, but actually there were these benches that had tables attached, and I was like, we need to be here because this is going to be so much easier with my printing press and what I was planning to do. So we paused there and I could see the Hot Wales houses from the table. So a really nice colourful strip of houses, and actually there were a lot of like flags and a ship mast in my way, but I kind of edited all that out and just focused on the houses and also the trees and hedges above and below them. So I started with a really punchy blue because it was such a sunny day and the sky was just clear and blue. But I realised now it was way too blue. It meant it was really hard to then add colours on top of. And I think if I was concentrating more, I would have realised that. But because I was so distracted by everything, I just kept making these decisions that normally I don't think I'd make. But yeah, I was having too much fun, chatting too much to make the best artwork I could that day, I think. So although all the artists spread out, quite a lot of us found these benches and decided to make artwork around this area. So next to us there was an artist called Wendy Child, and she was creating a pastel scene of the Harbourside, and it was really beautiful. Everyone kept stopping and looking, and yeah, she was amazing. She says she normally does portraits but also does landscapes as well, and yeah, she's clearly really talented. And yeah, it was just nice to be surrounded by artists. It was really inspiring seeing everyone's work come together. So the next layer was like a pinky layer, and it didn't go down that well because the blue was such a strong blue that it was sitting on. And here's Lisa and Sarah, who works for Jackson's, coming over and having a little look at what we were doing. And then I added a green layer, which did sit better than the pink layer, but still, I was just like, this isn't really coming together very well. And then Jane Ormes arrived, who's a printmaker. You may know of her. I've known of her work for years. I really love her work, and it was really nice to meet her. And she did some really lovely sketches of the Harbourside. And Jackson's had invited a photographer along who took some pictures of us making on the day, which was fun. And then the final layer I put down was like a dark green, which did bring the piece together a bit more, but still it wasn't like exactly as I wanted it to be, because as I said, I think the first layer the mistake happened really early on and it affected everything I did after. So at about 3 o'clock we all gathered together, put our artwork down and had a look at what everyone had made, which was really lovely. And I'm just always so amazed that everyone's got such different styles and they've chosen different subject matters. Like some people chose to do boats, which is something I definitely stay away from, and they loved doing that and it was really illustrative. And then some people went for the cranes by M Shed. Again, that's something I'd stay away from. So it's just interesting, like what people saw, what they wanted to do, and then everyone's different styles. And then we got together for a group photo and we all had a chat. It was really lovely, but it was so hot. Like I applied sun cream, I think 3 times this day because I was just convinced I was going to burn, because it was just full sun all day where we'd sat ourselves. So yeah, it was a really fun day. I'm really glad I went. And it was really nice to meet artists that I knew online and hadn't met before, and catch up with artists that I already knew. And it was just nice having people around and all being passionate about making art. But I do think it was strange, like, because it was a really similar place to where I did Landscape Artist of the Year, and I was so much happier with my piece I did on the TV show than the piece I did under way less pressure last week. And also I had basically the same time for both artworks, but on the day of Landscape Artist of the Year, I was really, really focused, and lots of members of the public were talking to me, but I'd answer, but I'd stay focused, like looking at my block. I felt really rude, but I was like, I have to concentrate because, you know, I've got one chance at this. Whereas when I was there last week, I was chatting a lot more, and like my mind wasn't really focused, and I hadn't really realised that I can't just rely on like going through the motions. Like I really do need to think about what I'm doing. And yeah, it was just interesting to see, like, when your brain is so distracted by like chatting or whatever, how affected your artwork is. And I realised I probably need to, if I want to make good art, I need to make it, you know, more on my own. But I'm glad I did. I definitely do it again because it was really fun. I said at the beginning of this video it's every month, but I think it's every other month, and the next one is in Dorset. So I'll put the email address in the description so you can get in touch with Jackson's if you wanted to pop along to that one. So I printed around like 12, 14 prints that day, but I've editioned 7 of them. I mean, they're all not the most consistent edition because, you know, it didn't always go to plan that day. So they do vary a bit, but yeah, there were 7 that I've put in an edition and the rest I'll collage, probably in my daily collages. So yeah, I've got 7, and I don't know if you remember this, but this was an edition I made in Devon in my 3rd studio vlog, and I wasn't that happy with it. There's 10 of these. And I thought I would just put them on the YouTube section of my website. I'll put the link in the description of this video. And it's like a secret website section that you'll know about if you've watched my videos, where sometimes I put things if I don't want to send a newsletter out to everyone because I don't have a lot of something, or because I kind of want you to have the context of how they were made. The thing is, they're reduction prints, which is mainly what I sell, but they're like, in my mind, they're sketches, they're like experiments, they're I didn't take them so seriously as I normally do, because they're like preliminary works rather than finished pieces. So I don't really want to send them out to my newsletter subscribers and confuse things, and you've had the context of how they were made by watching this video. So I put them on my website, and if they don't sell on the YouTube section, I'll just put them on the main section in a couple of weeks. But I've put them on at a reduced cost in case anyone wants an artwork that maybe hasn't gone to plan, because some people might want them. So yeah, I've put them on my website, and also I've got a few left of these. These are card packs from a year ago when I did a big painting, and then I collaged from them, and then these are some cards. So I've got a few of these card packs left that are also on this section, and there I've reduced those in price because I probably want to get them gone now. So yeah, if you're interested, head to my website. My next video is going to be about my mini collage project. So I am 4 and a bit months into the project now, which is exciting because it's really starting to look like a huge array of artworks. There's now over 120 artworks. And yeah, I'm gonna talk more about those. I'm gonna make some into some cards. That should come out in 1 to 2 weeks. I haven't made the video yet, but it's on my list. So thanks for watching. A little bit of a different video, this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll be back soon.